UFC Fight Night, Baku Fiziev vs Torres. Full fight predictions, full fight main card predictions, and matchups to make after. Let's start into it. I went 5-1 on the main card. Rafa Fiziev won by spinning wheel kick KO, just like I predicted it. I told you guys, Fiziev was too clean on the feet. Torres is very sloppy. In the first round it was pretty close. Torres was landing some shots, but Fiziev was the cleaner guy on the feet. He was popping him with the kicks, the leg kicks. He was piecing him up on the feet, and he ended up getting a KO in the second round, which is actually surprising. I said it was gonna be a late KO, but he was too clean on the feet, just like I predicted it. Fiziev won by spinning wheel kick KO. That's pretty crazy. I think Fiziev's pretty rated. He went to decision with Justin Gaethje twice. He arguably beat him in the first fight, and yeah, he almost beat Fiziev. I think Fiziev should get a step up in competition. I think he should fight someone like a Michael Chandler, even though Fiziev's ranked higher, but he should get a big fight. He deserves a big fight. It's always entertaining. Maybe give him Michael Chandler or maybe Max Holloway if he loses. For Manuel Torres, he lost. He lost the rankings fight. He was gonna win. He would have been in the rankings, but now I think he should take a step down. I think he should fight Drew Dober. On to the next co-main event. Shara Magomedov versus Michelle Pereira. Just like I said, guys, 29-28 by Shara Magomedov. Exactly like I predicted it. Michelle Pereira dropped him in round one with a nice right hand, but then Michelle gassed out, and Shara did what Shara does with his kicks. Likes to strike on the outside, circling around. He basically boxed him up and kicked him on the feet. For the last two rounds, he outclassed him. Exactly like I predicted it. He weathered the early storm and won a nice decision, 29-28. It might have been 30-27, but yeah, he after he got dropped, he came back and won the fight. I think Shara should finally get someone at the rankings. He lost the MVP, but now he's won 2 fights in a row. I think he should fight Jared Cannonier. And for Michelle Pereira, man, this is a bad look, man. He lost 4 fights. I think it was 3 or 4 fights in a row now. I think this might be the end of the road for him. Michelle was really hyped up at middleweight. He got a few KOs at the start of his career at middleweight, but then he's just been going downhill from there. I think Michelle should fight, I don't know, some Dana White Contender Series guy, or I don't know. I think he might get cut after this, to be honest. They should go to Bellator. Alright, the next fight, the featured fight. Mateus Camilo knocked Nazim Sadikov out in the round 1, absolutely destroyed him. Guys, I got this pick wrong. I thought Sadikov was going to show levels, but Camilo just hit him with a nice right down the middle, and absolutely KO'd Sadikov. Left him frozen, KO'd him. This is actually a really good prospect. He got a lot better since his last fight. I think he should fight another step up. I think he should fight Daniel Zellhuber. A little matchup outside the rankings. And then for Sadikov, I'm not too sure about him, man. I think he should fight, it's like another guy outside the rankings, probably around the top 50. I think he should fight maybe Esteban Ribovic. I think that's a good fight. Next fight, we got Asu Almabaya versus Charles Johnson. Another fight I predicted perfectly. I said Asu was going to win by either decision or late round KO. This was an absolute masterclass by Asu. He destroyed Charles Johnson on the feet and the ground. He was doing whatever he wanted to him. He was out striking him. He was out wrestling him. Took his back, and at the end, he had a nice Sulayev stretch. Absolutely spladled Charles Johnson. That was crazy to see. That was an amazing performance. I think Asu should get a big fight next. I think he should fight a Tim Elliott or maybe a Kai Asakura. Give him a big fight. He did crazy. Charles Johnson, man, he's probably gonna fight someone, another guy, another loss to a guy that's, another Dagestani wrestler dude. I think he should fight maybe actually I have no idea, man. Maybe Muhammad Makai if he comes back to the UFC, or someone else, man. Give him another scrub. maybe a Matt Schnell, give him an easy KO. You know, he's very entertaining, but when he goes against these wrestlers, he just gets outclassed, you know. Alright, next. We got Akram Aliskerov versus Bruno Ferreira. Guys, what did I say, man? You know, typical Akram performance, you know, he outstroked him on the feet. He out wrestled Bruno. He dropped him a couple times, you know. Bruno was just swinging like a wild man. He was trying to club and slub. But, you know, it was a typical Akram performance, man. It's kind of disappointing to see. You know, he hasn't been able to get these finishes recently. After getting KO'd by Whitaker, he's just been the same old dude, like I said, you know. He KO'd, you know, he got that flying knee KO, and then he got that 1-2 KO over Phil Hawes, but after that, man, it's just been decisions and, you know, kind of boring fight. You know, this wasn't a boring fight, you know, this was a pretty good fight, but he just hasn't been able to put his stamp, you know. But I think Ikram, he deserves to fight in the rankings, you know. He deserves to fight someone. I think he should fight maybe he should fight a Shara Magomedov, you know. Maybe you should match them two up for a fight, for another big fight, or maybe a Jared Cannonier or an MVP. That would be a good fight. Ikram versus MVP. I could honestly see MVP winning that fight. MVP came off a win against Jared Cannonier and Shara Putin, but let's see if Ikram can take him down. And Bruno Ferreira, you know, was always entertaining, always clubbing and subbing, but I think he should fight someone outside the rankings. I think he should fight Mikhail Oleksiejczuk. You know, he also lost on this card. I think they should fight each other. Both entertaining fights. You know, Mikhail is a big clubber. You know, he likes to brawl. So does Bruno. I think that'll be a good fight. On to the next. Not here, but Abus Magomedov versus Mikhail Oleksiejczuk was an absolute crazy fight. Crazy for me. I picked Mikhail, so I kind of went against my expectations, you know. Mikhail tried to get in the pocket and swing, but Abus, you know, he was able to stay on the outside and then eventually got a takedown and ended up subbing Mikhail. You know, Abus is actually very underrated, man. Abus has only lost to Strickland and Caio Borralho in his UFC career, man. I think he deserves a good fight up in the rankings, man. I think he deserves a fight in the rankings, bro. Abus is very underrated. You know, outside of his two losses to the UFC champion and like the number 2 or 3 ranked contender, he's been all wins, all finishes. I think Abus is a real prospect in this division, man. You know, give him someone up the rankings, you know. Give him a Rainer de Ritter. I would say a match Abu and Rainer de Ritter, and then Mikhail Oleksiejczuk with Bruno Ferreira. And that'll do it, guys. That's the full UFC fight night, UFC Fiziev Torres predictions.